Thanks for being with us. The usual MicroPython links up there. They're just a handy collection to keep on your bookmarks, as well as the sponsor link. Throw some coins towards MicroPython if you feel so desired. Tonight I'm going to be talking a little bit about news roundup stuff, general news. I'm trying not to cover the Raspberry Pi Pico. I'm going to leave that to Damian, who's going to talk all about it. But when I went looking for all of the various MicroPython news in the last month, I had to scroll for about 4 hours to get past all of the links that are coming up from the Raspberry Pi Pico because it's a really large announcement. Damian will tell you all about that in a moment. Season of docs, so we've been talking about this for a couple of months now. Joanna has finished her work, and just today it's been merged in. I don't think they've been published yet. That'll be tonight, I presume. So tomorrow you'll be able to wake up and read these incredible documentation on the internals of MicroPython. So it's quite a nice body of work that Joanna's put together, and Damian edited it as it merged it through. Jim and I spent a fair bit of time with Joanna trying to make sure it was pretty well done, or at least covered all the things that we wanted to. So yeah, I'm really happy to see all that come to fruition. Joanna, if you're out there watching this recording, thank you very much. It's really awesome work. Okay, so the segment known as Matt's New Hardware. This month I'm starting with a board that I've been waiting for about a year. It was really hard to get. The chips have been available for a little while, but the Nucleos have not. This is the STM32 board with LoRa built in on die. STM32 of license NESX 1278 from Semtech. So there's two variants of this board. One works in Australia, one works in the other parts of the world. I think Europe and Japan are in the same frequency in Australia and America, but don't quote me on that. We're in the 900 meg range anyway. These boards are dual core, M4 for the application, M0 for the LoRa control. 256K flash, 64K RAM. Pretty neat little board for the growing market of like long distance comms with low bandwidth. I think in Australia in particular, it seems like there's a good niche for this because of ag tech and for mining, where you're talking about long distances of sensor data and that kind of stuff. So it's quite an interesting board. I'm hoping that it won't take us too long to get a port for that. So Damian's put his hand up.
Is the M0, is that in addition to the Semtech chip? So there's three things?
I still haven't figured out their architecture yet, so I'm not sure. They advertise an M4 and M0 with LoRa, and I don't know how that works. Yeah.
Interesting.
If anyone else knows,
I think we'll find out eventually.
We'll find out pretty soon. Yeah. It looks like it's a very similar architecture to the WB55, the Bluetooth chip that STM32 have put out. But yeah, I'm not sure how the Semtech fits into it yet. Also, at first glance, I couldn't find good API information on how to control it. So it's still pretty raw and ready yet. But it's a pretty interesting board. Actually, Scott, this one's you put me onto the G series, which is the latest. I guess this is the latest of the M4 ARMs that STM are putting together, and it's kind of like the F3s but ramped up. Got all sorts of like acceleration in hardware for math and for a whole bunch of different things. Much better analog systems, so the DACs and the ADCs have been improved. Faster clock rates. I think this is 133 meg or something. So it's a pretty good balance of power and efficiency. And so this is sort of the future of the general micro, I guess, for STM32. That one's just like any other Nucleo board, but you can come and have a play with it. The M5 paper is really cute. This is by M5 Stack, who do we've covered a lot of their stuff before, but it's an e-ink device, 960 by 540, so pretty decent resolution on a 4.7 inch display, 16 levels of grey, and it's a neat little touchscreen on the front of it as well. ESP32 in the guts, 16 mega flash, it's got a decent battery, it's even got like a magnet, so it almost comes in there. But anyway, bunch of little ports on the side with those standard 4-pin general sort of ports. I can't remember what they're actually called. So yeah, it's a pretty cute little device. So let's just have a look at it.
What's that called now?
It's an M5. Well, the M5 stack M5 paper. Yeah.
That's like that.
Yep. So M5 stack of the company that make it. M5 paper is what they've branded this as. You can see it right there. But it's you can see it's quite a cute display.
Yeah.
It's also got a little rocker wheel on the side, so you can scroll it up and down and push it in. That's cute. Right, the Pixel badge, it's here. So we talked about this last month, I think. I received it in the interim. And so this was a badge designed for one of the conferences, I can't remember which. LinuxConf? Really? Okay, cool, LinuxConf. And then they turned it into a commercial product.
No, just greedy.
Sorry?
Greedy.
Well, you can buy it on Tindy.
See?
You can buy this on Tindy.
Swag it, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, Tom, I've forgotten Tom's surname. Tom, he's the main developer of this, got it on Tindy.
Oh, okay.
It's a 256 colour LEDs, not the WS281Bs, they're actual 3-colour LEDs, and they've got controls on the back. The other cute thing about this board is the PCB Art. Might be a bit hard for you guys to see, but it's really cute. They developed a new process to do like a UV print, and also to use the stencils to get your whites nice and white. See, Andy. ESP32 is one of those, what are they called? The 18650 lithium-ion batteries. A bunch of buttons. USB-C. Very neat little design. It's also got like a little application framework as well, so you can create like a MicroPython. It's all a MicroPython system, but you can have like they've got like an API where you can hook into there's like a scrolling menu system, and you can create your own applications. So you can play Snake on this thing and create your own applications.
You can chain them? Like, if you want several of them?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But that's something you could add as an app. Yeah. You could Wi-Fi connect them and do whatever you like.
Does it look like that if you did have many of them and you put them next to each other, there'd be no visible sort of gap?
The PCB is pretty square on one side, but on the other side there's a USB port, so that'll get in your way. But if you're running off battery, maybe.
Like you could make a panel out of it.
You could.
So,
Anyway, Pixel badge, pretty cute. What else we got? Oh, yeah, I've just got a photo of the artwork as well, because it's pretty noteworthy. They also worked with one of the Chinese manufacturers to do that pixel art, the PCB art, and it seems likely that that's going to become an option at some point, just as like a value-add option. You can pay extra to get that kind of printing on the back of your PCB. It's pretty neat. What else we got? Raspberry Pi Picos. Surprise, I received mine just a couple of days ago, so they come in one of the most beautiful little tapes that you can imagine. Again, I'm not going to say anything, I'll let Damian talk about it. Have we got any comments from the... Cool. The porting effort to the Xiao and a couple of other things. Peter's keen to get the file system stuff done. I'm hoping Damian spends a little bit of time on that tonight to talk about how it's done for the Raspberry Pi Pico. That'll explain how we create a block device to do that kind of thing. There's a few ports that I've got in mind that I want to brush that up as well, so we'll work on that. Speaking of Peter, I don't know if you want to talk briefly, but Peter's had another award-winning artwork. Do you want to say anything about that? If so, just come up here quickly so people can see it. Peter's one of our members here for the guys that are remote.
Hi guys. So the city of Whittlesea, where I live, have an annual art exhibition. It's been deferred for 2 months, but so with mine, it's an ESP 8266. Running MicroPython 1.13 with the async I/O. Thanks, Damian. I think you got all that running sweet. So a whole bunch of different peripherals running on it. The critical one is the sonar, Maxbotic sonar. I did my concept piece had the $2 sonar, but that was just didn't have the dynamic range in its internals to give accurate readings. So I spent big dollars on the next product, so about $50-$60. It's actually quite expensive for what it is. But it gave me the accuracy I was looking for, and then the concept behind the piece was the art exhibition theme was the consequences of COVID on society, and my interpretation is that once we used to enjoy the company of people, maybe not necessarily us geeks, but hey, generally we like being with people. What COVID has done is made us really aware of our personal space, and so with my piece, the closer you get to it, the more alarmed it gets, to the point where if you're within 1 metre, it's red and it starts swearing at you, tells you to move back, and a siren goes off, and the curators loved it. So I got a prize. It's quite chuffed. So Async.io, a coroutine to one that monitors the sonar, and that sets a whole bunch of flags that other coroutines read and do stuff with. So the dot matrix display is run in its own coroutine. The WS2812's in its own, the siren in its own, and the benefit, the real benefit to running in Async.io was I could develop each coroutine in isolation, which really accelerated the development. It was a benefit that I didn't really appreciate beforehand, and really do now.
Cool. Congratulations.
Thanks.
For those that can have access to the slides, that link will take you to the Slack entry that Peter's put together. It looks kind of like this, and there's a video at the end there, so you can watch it and see as it's demonstrating. As you get closer to it, it gets really irate. It's quite cute. So yeah, nice work there.
Thanks.
Inkplate 10, I didn't get my Inkplate out. There's an e-ink device that I showed off a couple months ago, perhaps. That was the Inkplate 6. This is the big brother to it, the Inkplate 10. In both cases, the company that are making these recycling Kindle displays, and so they've managed to get their hand on a number of the 10-inch or 9.7-inch displays, and they've got like a neat little SP32 powered board that you can buy from, I want to say Crowd Supply, maybe it's Tindy. About $130 US for the big one, but looks like a beautiful display though. So. Just saw this today. It's based on the Raspberry Pi Pico, but it's one of those Hub 75 panels, which is a 32 by 32, bouncing around the word Pico. It's an example of how you can use the PIOs, which Damian's going to tell us all about in a minute. It's one of the features of the Raspberry Pi Pico, basically to drive the signal that you need to drive on those LED displays. Code's available on GitHub already, and it's going to be in Hackspace magazine, which is also coming out monthly now, and there's a bunch of MicroPython articles already that have appeared. I expect we'll see more of them. Chris Hager's been quite active in a short period of time. Chris reached out to me on the Slack channel for a couple of things that he's been working on, but thought it was worth showing off this one. He's written a TypeScript library to connect to the MicroPython REPL. So this would allow you to make a connection using Node or something like that to a MicroPython device. Does it over serial or over WebREPL. So it was quite a neat way to make that connection. He's looking for people to test it as well with different boards. And Watchy has got a bit more news. We looked at Watchy like a year or so ago. It was a long time ago. Little e-paper display, 1.75 inch, 200 by 200 display. Quite a nice looking display. They've bundled into a watch. Again, ESP32 on the back. RTC, battery, accelerometer, all the things you'd sort of expect. But they've just recently put that up on GroupGets. No price yet, but you can register for interest on that. And that was about all I had time to put together, so I think that's the news wrap up for now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Usual.